OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, 3 tech giants, 1 week, all launching AI healthcare products. This is not a coincidence. This is a race for your medical data. Here's what you need to know. 230 million people ask ChatGPT health questions every single week. That's nearly the entire population of Brazil, consulting an AI about their bodies. But here's what nobody's talking about. 3 tech giants just launched AI healthcare products within days of each other. This isn't innovation, this is war, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one to trust, and what to never, ever tell any of them. The OpenAI move, ChatGPT Health. On January 7th, OpenAI dropped ChatGPT Health. A dedicated space where you can upload your entire medical history, connect Apple Health, sync your lab results from Function, and even link MyFitnessPal. Over 40 million people already ask ChatGPT healthcare questions every single day. So OpenAI decided to lean all the way in. The pitch is seductive. Gathered health data from a dozen apps, finally unified. Ask ChatGPT to summarize your blood work before a doctor's visit. Get personalized diet advice based on your actual glucose levels. Prepare questions for appointments based on your complete medical history. Connect to Be Well's infrastructure that aggregates data from 2.2 million US healthcare providers. Your entire fragmented health journey synthesized into one AI-powered dashboard. OpenAI worked with over 260 physicians across 60 countries and dozens of medical specialties to build this. Doctors provided feedback on model outputs more than 600,000 times over 2 years. Major hospitals like Stanford Children's Health, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, Boston Children's Hospital, and HCA Healthcare are already rolling it out to their institutions. Fidji Simo, OpenAI's CEO of applications, shared how ChatGPT potentially saved her life. After being hospitalized for a kidney stone and developing an infection, she checked the prescribed antibiotic against her medical history in ChatGPT. The AI flagged that the medication could reactivate a serious life-threatening infection she'd suffered years before. The resident only had a few minutes per patient during rounds, and health records weren't organized to surface that risk. Sounds revolutionary, right? Here's the problem nobody at OpenAI wants you to think about. Sarah Gagan, from the Electronic Privacy Information Center, put it bluntly, uploading your medical records to ChatGPT removes HIPAA protection entirely. The company is only bound by its own promises. No federal law, no regulation, they can change those terms whenever they want. Remember 23andMe. Users shared genetic data thinking it was safe. Then bankruptcy hit and the data became an asset for the highest bidder. Your reproductive health records, your mental health history, your chronic conditions, all of it could be subpoenaed, leaked, or terms of service away. But OpenAI isn't the only one making this play. Their biggest competitor moved just 4 days later, with a radically different strategy. January 11, 2026. Anthropic launches Claude for healthcare. But here's where it gets interesting. While OpenAI went consumer first, targeting people like you and me, Anthropic went enterprise first. They're not building a product for patients. They're building the operating system for hospitals. Claude now connects directly to the CMS coverage database to check Medicare coverage rules, ICD-10 medical codes for billing verification, and the National Provider Identifier Registry for credentialing. Anthropic is the only major foundation model available through all major cloud providers, AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure, with HIPAA-compliant infrastructure. They can sign business associate agreements with hospitals and pharmaceutical companies. Think about what this means for healthcare administration. Prior authorization requests that used to take hours of manual cross-referencing. Claude can pull coverage requirements from CMS, check clinical criteria against patient records, and propose a determination with supporting materials for review. Claims appeals. Claude collects patient records and clinical guidelines to help process and strengthen them automatically. Patient portal messages overwhelming your care team. Claude can triage, identify urgent cases, and draft responses. Banner Health, a 33-hospital system, already deployed Bannerwise, a private chatbot built on Claude's technology, to all 55,000 employees across 6 states. Novo Nordisk, Genmab, and Flatiron Health are using Claude for everything from clinical documentation to real-world disease trajectory analysis. So Anthropic is the safe choice. Not so fast. Anthropic's own internal benchmarks reveal something fascinating. Claude Opus 4.5 achieves 92.3% accuracy on medical calculations and 61.3% on complex agentic medical tasks. Sounds impressive until you do the math. 92.3% accuracy means roughly one wrong answer in every 13 calculations. In medication dosing or risk scoring, the acceptable error rate with validated calculators is effectively zero. That's 61.3% on complex tasks. That's a 38.7% failure rate on multi-step medical scenarios. Anthropic's own demo materials include extensive disclaimers requiring biostatistician validation, clinical expert review, IRB approval, and legal sign-off before any AI-generated protocol can be used. Two giants throwing punches, but the third player, they're playing a completely different game. While OpenAI and Anthropic fight over who gets to read your health records, Google quietly released MedGemma 1.5 and MedRXAIPULSE on January 13th. And they're targeting something different entirely, the infrastructure layer. They don't want your data. They want to own the tools that everyone else uses to build healthcare AI. MedGemma 1.5 is the first public open multimodal model that can analyze 3D medical imaging, CT scans, MRI volumes, whole slide histopathology. Not static 2D images. Actual three-dimensional medical data. The 4B parameter model improved accuracy by 3% on disease classification using CT scans and 14% on MRI-based classification compared to the previous version. It can even compare current chest X-rays with previous scans to describe disease progression over time. MedASR converts medical speech to text with 82% fewer transcription errors than general-purpose models like Whisper. In internal tests, MedRXAIPULSE achieved a 5.2% word error rate on chest X-ray dictations compared to 12.5% for Whisper Large v3. A doctor can dictate findings, MedRXAIPULSE transcribes them with perfect medical terminology, and MedGemma 1.5 reasons over the imaging data. All in one seamless pipeline trained on 5,000 hours of their identified physician dictations across radiology, internal medicine, and family medicine. Taiwan's National Health Insurance Administration already used MedGemma to analyze 30,000 pathology reports for surgical policy decisions. Malaysia's Ministry of Health built RXAIPULSE with it to help clinicians navigate 150-plus clinical practice guidelines. The AI healthcare market hit $52.28 billion this year and is projected to reach $928 billion by 2035. Google wins by avoiding the consumer health data controversy entirely. Here's the brilliant positioning. Google made these models completely free for research and commercial use through Hugging Face and Google Cloud's Vertex AI. They even launched the MedGemma Impact Challenge, a hackathon with $100,000 in prizes. They're not trying to own your data. They're trying to own the developers who build the next generation of health AI tools. The companies using MedGemma today will be building the healthcare infrastructure of tomorrow. That's the real power play. Three tech giants, three radically different strategies. OpenAI wants to be your personal health companion. Anthropic wants to power the hospitals. Google wants to arm the developers who'll build whatever comes next. This isn't a feature launch. This is the beginning of a fundamental restructuring of how healthcare works. AI adoption in healthcare is accelerating at twice the rate of the broader economy. 66% of physicians were already using AI in their practice in 2024. If you're going to use any of these tools, remember this one thing: what you share with consumer AI products is not protected by HIPAA. Period. Your medical secrets could be subpoenaed, leaked, or terms of service away at any moment. Dr. David Leibovitz from Northwestern put it perfectly: patients must understand that health data shared with ChatGPT is not protected by HIPAA, unlike in conversations with physicians or therapists. The question isn't whether AI will transform healthcare. It already is. The question is who you're willing to trust with the most intimate details of your existence. Choose wisely. If this video helped you understand what's really happening in AI healthcare, hit that subscribe button. We break down the biggest tech stories before everyone else catches on. Like this video if you want more deep dives like this. And drop a comment: which AI would you trust with your medical data? OpenAI, Anthropic, or Google? See you in the next one.